Welcome back, it's Tommy with a StarCraft 2 replay for you, as once again we have a great engagement, a great international engagement in between Canada and South Korea. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. Spawning here in the lower right in the blue, it is SCARLETT from Canada, and her opponent is spawning here in the lower left in the red, it is Cure from South Korea. So Terran versus Zerg, it is here on Blackburn. Nice two spawning location map. Let's just see exactly what the players have prepared for us. This game has been played very recently. I found it in the year 2022, around March I believe it was. Yeah, pretty recent stuff here from SCARLETT and Cure. Yeah, let's just see the build order, what exactly they will be going, and by the looks of it, SCARLETT is preparing her fast expansion already. Indeed, there it is, as her overlords are also moving out on the map. Let's just check out Cure really quick. There's this refinery, barracks and supply depot. So the pretty standard stuff by both players. No proxy barracks here by Cure, deciding to play it pretty standard, pretty safe. And yeah, let's just see the next steps here from both players. We have the gas from SCARLETT, should be followed by that spawning pool really soon. So the ordinary build order, the ordinary open up here for a Zerg versus a Terran. The same can be said here for the Terran as well. So I'm pretty sure he might go for some Reapers really soon, just to harass the Zerg. Let's have a look. This SCV might also go for the expansion build order. So yeah, the standard stuff, which is really soon going to be scouted out by SCARLETT's overlord. There's the SCV from Cure also moving out, just to check the proximity from the Zerg, just to check if there is a fast expansion or if there is a fast pool coming towards him. And there is that overlord, sees now the building, sees now that the Reaper will be very soon coming towards her base. But as soon, of course, as she will have a queen, she should be able to hold the harassment. So yeah, we have passed the 2-minute mark. There's the first queen being spawned. Reaper should also be out. Yeah, there it is, being scouted by the overlord. And the expansion is also slowly coming up for Cure. Cure also continuing with his factory, so we might see once again a 1-1 build order, one barracks into one factory, and later on, of course, a much needed starport with those medivacs is also needed. And let's see if this one Reaper can indeed deal some damage. Perhaps he can snipe some Zerglings. If he's lucky, he could even snipe some drones. Let's have a look. There's one Zergling spawning pretty low, one nice grenade, but in the end the queen pops out and scares that Reaper away. So pretty good early harassment. Zerglings do hold. Speed is also being done for those Zerglings, and that second expansion is also being built up here for SCARLETT at the 3 o'clock position. Now let's just check the Terran once again. Actually, he decides to go for a command center, so he's preparing actually a macro oriented game, preparing here his expansion and his starport. So yeah, expansion first into starport, as I'm pretty sure he's going to be taking this position as well. SCARLETT has this nicely placed overlord just in case there will be a medivac move out by Cure. So yeah, nothing yet out of the ordinary. Pretty good harassment with this one Reaper, but SCARLETT just prepares now her macro game as well, as 33 workers for her versus the 26 from Cure. Let's just check once again Cure's base. Of course he will go for some harassment with those Hellions. We do know how strong they are against those drones. Interesting enough, he decides to go for a Viking first, perhaps to chase off those overlord or even kill them away. Let's see if his two Hellions will be able to make something happen. I think he might want to try to go for the gold mine, but there is no such base here. Also he's perhaps trying to go around here just to fool SCARLETT a little bit. SCARLETT of course has no detection here, so in come those two Hellions. Might be able to snipe some drones, but SCARLETT really fast onto her reaction. Great micro here by her, pulling those drones back really quick. So nice fast reaction here by her, showing us her great skill, as she's also spreading that creep around the map, those queen eggs all over the place here. And the Viking will of course take care of this one overlord. So nice job by both players. Pretty good try by Cure. He's adding more and more Hellions, so he might try for a more aggressive move. Actually he's at 6 Hellions here. There are the 4, and the other 2 might continue. No, they stay back home. So yeah, let's just see what he can be making. But of course SCARLETT responding with those queens. Queen's always very good choice early on in the game. Very nice to defend against the Terran harassment. And yeah, creep spread has already made it here through to the middle of the map, so nice creep spread by SCARLETT. And let's have a look. Cure adding now a Liberator. He might go on with a Banshee as well. With Cloak could have been an interesting idea for him. There we have the tier 2 mutating for SCARLETT. So yeah, Cure perhaps is going to try now to double attack SCARLETT once into this location, and then with the Liberator. Now the Liberator already makes this move out. One Spore is almost being done. There is a Queen. Liberator shows himself. There's that Liberation Zone, but yes, SCARLETT can react to that. However, a second attack here by Cure, but SCARLETT anticipating this. Nice reaction here by her. So early great defending here by SCARLETT. Once again a Liberation Zone, but the Queen is there. And yeah, let's have a look. This one Queen might get sniped, but no, there's this one Spore. Some drones do fall, of course. One Queen as well. In the end the Liberator gets sniped, but yeah, one Queen and 4 drones versus a Liberator. Pretty fair trade. SQ will of course snipe those Queen eggs just to fend off this creep spread by SCARLETT as much as he can. And of course he also expanded here into this location. So let's check once again his main. Going pretty heavy onto barracks, so you will see a mass bio build order by the turn. Let's have a look at the base from SCARLETT. Of course Baneling's the answer against that bio. We even see a Spire by her. Nice hidden Spire, so we might see some Mutalisk gameplay by her. Still she's very confident here into defending against so many Hellions, and she even took the gold mine. So yeah, fast expanding Zerg versus the Terran. Let's check more and more Evolution Chambers, of course, for those upgrades. And we now see a move out with that bio. 2 Medivacs for Cure. Let's see if SCARLETT has something here to defend. Only one Queen, so this could be a very nice drop by Cure. SCARLETT is of course focusing more on defending the middle of the map, and in comes the drop here straight into this one Queen egg. So the reinforcements of SCARLETT are retreating his Zerglings with Banelings. I believe Stim hasn't been done yet. Let's have a look if Cure can kill something. Stim is online, but yeah, Cure just gives so much time here for SCARLETT to retreat. Perhaps he's deciding to attack into another zone as well. He's just picking up, and there is his other attack force into this location. He might try to snipe this one expansion, but SCARLETT still having some Queens here, sniping some workers. Nicely done here by Cure. So very important here for Cure not to lose any units versus SCARLETT. So does a pretty nice job, clears those creeps egg, but in the end his harassment isn't really working out for him. He didn't snipe as many workers as SCARLETT, already at 73, but Cure also at 72, so his economy should also be really nice, as he's adding even yet another command center. And yeah, things are settling down a little bit. Cure once again tries to double attack. He might snap some drones here. Great job here by him. 4 drones have been sniped as the middle is still waiting, but hold on, we do see mass Mutalisk now for SCARLETT, and they might intercept this Medivacs by Cure, so Cure needs to be very careful. In come the Mutalisk. SCARLETT doesn't really see those Medivacs as she's going for another attack point. She goes for those Hellions. Those Hellions are really hurt, and now she's going straight for that mineral line. So snapping some Hellions, now going for those SCVs. 5 SCVs have already been killed. Those Mutalisks are really fast in the air, and now Cure just has to stay back and defend a little bit against those Mutalisks by SCARLETT. So yeah, SCARLETT also having so many Banelings to defend against those Marines. She's even sniping another building. Perhaps it was a Platypo or a Mussel turret. And yeah, really nice gameplay here by her. Let's just see what exactly she's going for as a next unit. She might go later on for some Broodwars. She might go for some Ultra Risk. Of course, Ultra Risk really strong against those Marines. Vipers could be an option for her. And yeah, let's have a look if Q is going to be adding some tanks, some Marauders, some Taurs would also be nice. Until now, he just has to defend against so many Mutalisk by SCARLETT. And of course, mines will be very crucial for Cure. Even Ghosts could be a nice, interesting idea with those snipes. Really strong in the late game against any Zerg. Nuclear bomb could also be an interesting option for him. SCARLETT, of course, adding this one Overseer against those mines just to have that protection, as both players might meet here in the middle of the map. Cure having the high ground, And here we go, a small engagement, some Zerglings to fall here against those stinned Marines, so SCARLETT has to retreat, she has to regroup. Creep spread is once again really outstanding as she tries a flank now against Cure. And here she comes with those Banelings, nice kiting back and forward with Cure. And yeah, Thor is even here, but Thor gets taken out. Both players are trading blows in the end. A good engagement here by SCARLETT. And yeah, Cure just has to retreat, just has to heal up a little bit, just has to wait for those mines to come in. So great damage being dealt by SCARLETT, as she's already at 97 workers versus the 78 from Cure, so her economy looking much stronger than the Terrans. Let's have a look. She's going for the upper left part. No base here, so she might try to bust here through. There is a mine. Let's have a look. Cure in the middle of the map, but in comes SCARLETT. Is being fended off by those units, by this one turret and this one mine. Cure is also taking here this expansion, and let's have a look when exactly SCARLETT, or if she's going to be targeted that one. Currently she's just at mass Zerglings with Banelings and some Mutalisk in the air. There's more and more Banelings, massive amounts of Banelings by SCARLETT, as she knows that against Bio those Banelings are really strong. This is exactly why Cure is deciding here to spread, of course, those units as much as he can. SCARLETT still in position here just to prepare an attack. She did actually bust through with some Banelings, and we once again see the middle of the map being engaged, but so many kills out of those mines. Really great stuff here by Cure, punishing SCARLETT a little bit. And yeah, Cure also being supply blocked, of course, given the fact that those supply depots have been sniped. So yeah, now Cure trying, of course, to bust here through, trying to make his way into the upper right part, into that old mine. Let's have a look if he's going to be successful. SCARLETT coming in from the back. She might try to go for a surround maneuver against Cure. Now Cure is being attacked, but remember there is also units from SCARLETT from the back, so perfect position for SCARLETT as she's surrounding Cure here and taking out so many units from him. Really nice job here. Cure, of course, not knowing about those units in the upper left part. There's so many casualties here for Cure, and SCARLETT now taking the supply advantage, as she even now sniping those medivacs. So great early game here by her. We have passed the 10-minute mark, we're closing at the 15-minute mark. Really nice game by SCARLETT. Cure tries, of course, to buy some time with those medivacs, but in the end they will be sniped. So yeah, so many units lost for Cure. Nice job by SCARLETT clearing those medivacs. You can actually see the losses here. Interesting enough, SCARLETT more losses than Cure, but at the production tab, at the supply amount, actually see here SCARLETT having a better supply and of course a much better economy. Cure is catching up a little bit. He's now taking his gold mine. It's nicely being defended, and let's have a look if SCARLETT somehow can bust here through. It would be really great for her to take out those SCVs. But Cure is also on standby. We see some units make it here through, but Cure is able to fend this off. So yeah, SCARLETT, of course, showing some respect towards Cure, at the same time also deciding to take the 12 o'clock. And once again preparing those units into the upper left part. We've seen how nice this was for her with that surrounding maneuver against Cure. Cure caught a little bit off guard. Let's have a look if he's somehow going to come back. And yes, indeed he is. He's almost supply blocked now versus SCARLETT, but army wise Cure also having more army than SCARLETT, and SCARLETT needs to be careful here not to get taken by surprise. But of course one Baneling or two can do so much splash damage against this massive amount of bio from Cure, as Cure looking like he's not going to allow a massive expansion by SCARLETT. At the same time SCARLETT moves now forward with those ultra risk, so much more tankiness, as she should be able to take out this planetary fortress. So yeah, 12 SCVs versus those 7 drones. Both players are trading the bases here, but ultra risk it is now indeed for SCARLETT. Interesting matchup. Of course ultra risk, a very tanky unit with that splash damage, also really strong against that bio, and we might see another attack here. Of course the Banelings are busting here through. Mutalisk have been quite taken out, so SCARLETT has to retreat. Even those units are really strong now against those ultras. So nice massive amounts of bio from Cure as he's punching here through the middle of the map. Really great combination, even get backed up by a Thor or two. And yeah, those upgrades are really nicely coming in fight for Cure. And let's have a look at the answer from SCARLETT. She's even adding more and more Ultralisk, of course. Mutalisk are also in the air. Nice spread here by Q. Some units will be cut apart, but a good position as this one refinery is quite blocking the units from SCARLETT. Once again, one nice micro by Q. This is once again being able to push back the forces from SCARLETT. Really great micro here by Q. Nice spread, nice kiting back and forth with that bio, but so many Ultralisk are coming in as a reinforcement here by SCARLETT, and she's able to take so many units out. Those Ultralisk are really tanky with those upgrades. So nice job here in the end by SCARLETT. She's also being able to take out some units here, and more Zerglings do come here forward. She just keeps punching through, but she needs to be careful not to eat some mines from Q. And yeah, once again she's able to snipe 4 SCVs, one base is not mining. Once again Q is going for the high ground just to have protection with those supply depots. SCARLETT tries to punch here forward. Those Ultras once again dealing massive amounts of splash damage. Really great stuff, and at the same time she's able to snipe so many SCVs here with just a couple of Zerglings. So really nice job here by SCARLETT, sniping 18 SCVs. Really nicely done. Ultralisk also doing their job pretty well, and now we see some Corruptors in the air, but those Corruptors could of course morph into Broodlords against the Terran bio. Would be really scary against the Terran. Now let's have a look. Ultralisk with Broodlords would be really strong, as she even might add more and more Corruptors just to have anti-air. And let's have a look what her decision is going to be, as worker-wise Q all of a sudden is at 47 workers only, so SCARLETT doing a nice job. Nice kite once again here by Q, is able to take out so many Ultralisk. Reinforcements are also nicely pulling in for Q. Same game beset by SCARLETT. Q once again going for the high ground, going for that ramp. Some vomit out of those Corruptors as they're targeting the planetary fortress, but SCVs are there to repair. So nice vomit here by her, as she should be able to take out the planetary. So really nice job by her, sniping this one command center with lots and lots of vomits out of those Corruptors. Really great job. Still she doesn't decide to go for Broodlords, and there it is. As I said, she's actually morphing some Broodlords. So yeah, Broodlords really strong against the bio units on the ground, but they also need to have some backup in the air, some Mutalisk, some Corruptors. Yeah, let's just see how those Broodlords will be doing. She's still trying to of course snipe some units. Those Zerglings could have done some economic damage here into this base. At the same time she's not taking this base out, and yeah, she just has to clear this one mine. So nice game here by both players, as some Marauders have been added now for Cure. Marauder much more tankier unit than the Marines. And yeah, let's have a look how those Broodlords finally do finish morphing in, and first Broodlings on the ground. Really perfect counter against that bio. And let's have a look. Cure has to of course now transition into Vikings, so SCARLETT really needs to be really fast with her Broodlords. Once again this base is under attack. Some mines will get sniped, and yeah, Cure is trying of course to regroup, but he really needs that anti-air really quick. Even some ghosts will do. SCARLETT needs to be careful with those units. She needs the backup for those as she's coming in back with some units here. Cure tries to snipe of course the expansion. SCARLETT looking like she's going to commit, she's going to snipe this expansion here as well. So yeah, Cure taking out this expansion, but also taking quite some losses out of those banings. Once again, a perfect micro here by Cure, as he is out microing those banings, but in the end the real threat is of course those Broodlords, and they're being backed up luckily here for SCARLETT with 5 Corruptors. So in case there are some Vikings popping out, there are those Vikings being made, they will be of course intercepted as quickly as possible by those Corruptors. So yeah, SCARLETT nicely targeting the supply depots from Q. Q is looking like he's going to commit. This is going for a base trade area, as so many workers will fall left and right. SCARLETT still here on the attack. The same can be said by Q, who is also taking out this expansion. 24 workers now lost by SCARLETT, which is now going for that starport for those production units. And yes, still let's have a look who is going to finish this one. More workers here for SCARLETT. 56 versus the 39, and yeah, the Corruptors once again vomiting here all over the place. And yeah, Q in the high ground here, but in comes SCARLETT. There is no creep here, so Q might have the advantage, but so many banings as Q has to pick up. and just retreat. Still the attack, the siege keeps going on here for Scarlet as income those Vikings, but it's just 4 of them, so 4 Vikings versus 5 Corruptors and some Marines. Let's have a look. Scarlet looking like she's going to commit even more, snapping one Viking, and now the production tab, like I told you, are being targeted. So really strong stuff here by Scarlet. Her Broodlords are really tanky. They're not that fast, but they're very tanky, and they're also being healed here by those Queens. Remember, this is not the next patch, as Queens could still repair, can still heal those units if they're not on creep. So in the next patch this has of course been changed, as it was very imbalanced. Yeah, let's have a look. Just those Vikings for cure. In the end the Corruptor will take care of those. So yeah, nice job by Scarlet. She's also sniping some units here with Banelings, with this one Ultra Risk. And yeah, more and more is being thrown by Scarlet towards Cure, as this looks like really a strong game for her. It looks like she might have done it. So many workers to fall, and there is of course that GG in the end. Scarlet proving this time to be much stronger than Cure. Yeah, let's just jump straight into game number 2. Back with game number 2, this time on Curious Minds. Once again, in the lower right, in the blue, it is Scarlet, and her opponent in the upper left, in the red, it is Cure. So really nice first game by Scarlet with all of those mix of units, Mass Zerglings, Banelings, later on into those Ultra Risk with Broodlords and Corruptors. Really great stuff by her, and a nice surround earlier in the game, giving her that advantage. Cure also with a great micro, but in the end it was just way too much for Scarlet versus him. So let's just see how things will unfold here on Curious Minds, as it also looks like a pretty standard open up by both players. No proxy wish here by Cure versus Scarlet, as it's going straight for a refinery and a barracks. Just the same build order, just like in game number 1. Scarlet also going for her fast expansion, so very soon she will also continue with a extractor and spawning pool, or she could get greedy and go straight for her second expansion, but that would be very risky. So yeah, let's see how things will unfold. The observer is of course searching for those proxy barracks, but there is no such thing yet by Cure, as gas has been finished. So once again we really see the pretty standard open up by the Terran with a Reaper harassment, or perhaps he will go for mass Reapers. It could be an interesting idea. And there's that extractor with that spawning pool. And yeah, let's see how this game will unfold. Is Cure going to change something? Perhaps he's going into mass mechanical units. It could be an interesting idea with mass tanks and Hellions and so on. Let's have a look with mass Medivacs. But yeah, let's just see what his options are currently, as we see this one SCV now moving out on the map. Overlord is nicely being placed. We also see yet another Overlord here, as the first Marine will intercept it of course. And yeah, the main from Scarlet's spawning pool is about to finish. There's that expansion, as the SCV sees this of course, so he knows that not an early harassment is coming towards his way. It's just a fast expansion build order by the Zerg. And yeah, this one Overlord nicely hiding here, so pretty soon you might need something for a detection. So in comes this barracks. So all the timing is really nice by both players. Both players knowing of course the tricks, as this one Overlord gets sniped here. We see yet another barracks being landed here, and we have a factory for Cure. So once again a 1-1-1 build order by him, 1 barracks into 1 factory. Pretty sure he's going for the 1 starport, that it is much needed for him. See that second expansion for Scarlet. The speed is being done for those Zerglings. So by the looks of it, everything just like in game number 1, we might see mass Zerglings, Banelings, Scarlet. And yeah, let's just see, there is that starport, the reaction from Cure, going for those Hellions. If his harassment into game number 1 would have been successful with those Hellions, of course the outcome would have been different, but sadly for him, those Hellions didn't really catch so many drones. Even the Liberator didn't even catch so many drones, so he might go into a Banshee. We see Innovation going for Banshees against Zergs. Would be really strong, especially given the fact that they have Cloak and there is no detection early on for those Zergs. Still no tier 2 of course by Scarlet, as she has invested into those expansions, and 1 Hellion does make his way here through, even supported by 2 Marines. So yeah, still Scarlet should of course be able to hold. She has her Queens out, creep is nicely being spreaded once again. Cure also having those Hellions out, so this time he's actually looking to make something much better happen. This could be a nice location for his Hellions to bust here through to snipe some workers. 4 Hellions early on could be really strong, as we even have a cleaning bot here, making sure that everything stays clean. Scarlet is moving forward with some Zerglings, yeah, just to check out what exactly Cure is up to, but more and more Hellions are being produced. No Medivac yet for him, as he could of course drop some Hellions into this location. And yeah, more and more workers are being produced here by Scarlet, 40 for her, as her queens are of course now spotted here into the middle of the map. So in comes Cure. This time he decides to go for Hellbats. So Hellbats a much more tanky unit, not that fast moving unit like a Hellion, but much more tanky. And remember, it can also get healed by Medivac. But still, Cure needs a more crucial amount of units, as those queens are there to defend. But hold on, we actually have a pickup by Cure, and he's going straight into the main, and there's actually nothing here to defend for Scarlet. So this could be a really strong push here by him, but sadly he goes into Hellbats once again. If he would have stayed into Hellions, he would have killed so many units. So sadly here for Cure. Hold on, he's actually attacking into 2 fronts. Those Hellbats try to get some connections. Now finally they could snap so many units, so many drones, but Scarlet is really nicely microing those drones out of harm's way. It's interesting enough, Hellion Cure might be kicking himself after watching this replay. If he would have stayed into Hellions, I think he would have been so much more successful, but of course he knows much more better than me. Yeah, his one Medivac almost getting sniped here, 4 HP. Hellbats are still tanky, but the queens are also nicely healing themselves. So if those Hellions would have drove by so many, trust me. Now Scarlet tries of course to answer at the same count, but no expansion yet here for Cure. So yeah, nice walling by him. There is a Hellbat here to hold the line, some Marines, good defensive posture here by Cure, as he's adding once again more and more bio. So just like in game number 1, he decides to go for mass bio. Let's have a look at the answer from Scarlet, and we do actually see a Banshee, 0 kills for him, as we also have the tier 2 upgrade almost being finished by Scarlet. Stim is also almost being finished by Cure, so we might see some drops into mass bios with as Medivacs. Yeah, let's have a look. Things have settled down a little bit. Cure has nicely fortified his position here, as Scarlet also looking really strong with her 10 more workers than Cure. Let's have a look. Bench is still on the hunt for some queen eggs. Sadly for them, they didn't kill any drones. This could have been a nice position, but I'm sure, yes, indeed, Scarlet has of course spores into her mining location. Spores really important if you're a Zerg player facing those Liberators and those Banshees. Once again, Cure on the move out with Hellbats, with Marines. He might go once again for a sniping possibility here, but Scarlet is there with some Zerglings, with some Queens. Not that really big of an army. It's just a distraction move by Cure. Slowly but steadily we're closing at a 10-minute mark. Cure once again picking up more and more units. Just a tank this time decides to go for a tank and for some Marines. So one tank with siege ability, even a Banshee. Could be a nice position here for this tank to siege up. And hold on, we actually see somehow Scarlet make it here through as the door was open, so Cure not paying attention. Sadly for him, 10 SCVs have already fallen, and Scarlet into the main from Cure, killing so many SCVs. We are Cure not paying attention at what cost. Even this one upgrade might get snapped by Scarlet, but she actually decides to go for those workers. Really wise decision by her. 12 SCVs have already fallen, so Cure having to leave that door open for his units to move out. Scarlet abusing this fact, immediately sending out those Zerglings in, as she's able now to bring back her queens to defend. But let's have a look. She actually goes into roaches. So roaches it is here, very tanky unit against that bio. Banshee of course could counter, as those roaches can't attack air, but there are queens here just to heal up those units. There is sadly no overseer yet for Scarlet, as she's pushing more and more forward here against Cure, and she might even commit. And there's this one overseer, so she will have detection And by the looks of it, yes, indeed, she is going to commit. Cure is retreating. Those benches are still in the air, but they're now being spotted by this one Overseer. So yeah, Cure, he has those tanks in the back, so he should be fine. The door is nicely shut. Let's have a look. Is SCARLETT going to commit? It's going to be a really bad position by her. Some Ravager's shots are also being thrown out. Cure just holds his line. The siege tank in the back, dealing splash damage, but those fireballs out of those Ravagers are taking out the tank. Now those Marines in the front, of course, with that steam, killing so many units. So yeah, really bad engagement here by SCARLETT versus Q, as Q is being able to snipe so many units. And given the fact that there is no creep, of course, those units aren't that fast moving for SCARLETT. So SCARLETT with a little bit of a bad decision, if you ask me. She was able to snipe the tank in the back, but in the end it suffers so many unit losses, and now those Banshees might even take out a queen or two. And yeah, really good defense here by Cure, and nice wipe once again by both players. One queen getting snapped. Cure needs to be careful with this one Banshee, as now Cure is the one moving out. But if you look at the work account, interestingly enough, Cure only at 46 versus the 85, so economic wise SCARLETT looking really strong. Her economy hasn't been punished once again by Cure. That engagement was really bad for her, but it also has bought her really good time for her expansion, as finally Cure goes for his second expansion. Once again he's moving out with a small group of Marines just to not allow the Zerg to expand more and more heavily here on the map. And yeah, SCARLETT also being able to push back this attempt by Cure with those roaches, with those Ravagers. Creep spread once again really nice. Slowly but steadily the creep even make it here almost through the expansion points of Cure. So also very balanced early game. This time she goes for Ravagers and even adding some long range Hydras. Let's have a look. This time high ground for SCARLETT, as she should be able to push back this harassment. Hold on, we see one Banshee here with 10 kills, so better option here for Q to go for this one Banshee. And let's have a look. More and more units are being gathered here for SCARLETT. Really scary army. Lots and lots of roaches with Ravagers. Tanks are in the back, so those should be targeted. And here we go. SCVs have even been pulled. Lots and lots of still Marines. And a better position here for the Terran once again. This is just kiting forward towards those units from SCARLETT. And SCARLETT has to retreat, but in the end 18 SCVs have been sniped somewhere. So SCARLETT might have once again made her way through with some banings. I didn't see it on the minimap, but yeah, 44 workers versus the 83. It was pretty much worth it for SCARLETT losing all of those units, as her economy will allow her to come back really quick. Nice job by her. It probably happened here into this location. But yeah, let's have a look. Here once again tries to push forward with those siege tanks in the back. Marines in the high ground, so much better position for Q against SCARLETT. SCARLETT with a much better economy. In come the queens, they will heal those hurt units. And a nice kiting back and forth by Q. His siege tanks also nicely attacking, but the fireballs from the Ravagers getting great connections. And yeah, SCARLETT looks like she's having way too much here. Q tries of course to punish her as much as possible, but in the end he has to pick up and retreat. So yeah, nice hold by SCARLETT, and still Q not producing more and more workers, stays at the 47 amount. Of course bringing some mules back, but in the end his economy is pretty much hurt from SCARLETT, as SCARLETT was able to snipe 18 workers previously. So really great job by her. And yeah, in the end she also holds here this location. Q once again tries to come out with a small group of Marines with Medivacs. Let's see if he's going to be able to snipe something this location. Not that really much defended by SCARLETT, but we have some Vipers, so some blinding clouds could be casted, some parasitic bombs could also be casted here by SCARLETT. And yeah, let's have a look. Q tries to come here forward, but SCARLETT pretty much prepared. Let's have a look. Is Q going for the main? Could be a good decision, as the main is not really that much protected. He could snipe a spawning pool or an extractor. At the same time he tries to attack here. Let's have a look at this one drop into the main from SCARLETT. There are some Vipers, so we might see some parasitic bombs. There are those parasitic bombs really nicely casted by Cure. And just a small group of defending units for SCARLETT should be enough here for her. to fend this off. So nice job by SCARLETT once again defending. Cure, however, stays in position and he might eat once again a parasitic bomb or two. And there it is. So those Vipers doing a really nice job. This one Medivac even falling with all of those units. So yeah, SCARLETT, really great defense by her. As Cure is of course deciding now to expand, and slowly but steadily he's coming back with his workers. Still he has to make something happen. He has to kill more and more workers from SCARLETT. One Medivac still here in location. Still will try to attack the economy from SCARLETT, as we also have a nice spinning wheel there. And yeah, let's have a look what Cure is going for. Let's drop those units here. He will steam up. He might try to snipe the spawning pool. Might try to snipe some workers, and in he comes. So finally a good move here by Cure, killing so many workers. Finally a good job by him. 10 workers have fallen, so he might even abandon those units, but the damage has already been done. So yeah, nice job sniping 13 workers, really good done. At the same time he has to defend here versus the move out by SCARLETT. Parasitic bomb once again being used by her, really wise. And look at all of that splash damage out of that parasitic bomb. Nice spell to have as a Zerg. And we even have some lurkers now, some lurkers with splash damage. Perfect counter against all of those bio units. This time she decides to go for lurkers with Vipers, no Ravagers. Sorry, no Ultralisk. Nice Ravager shots this time, but the Terran looking really strong. Now having so many Medivacs to repair himself. And the SCARLETT is once again being pushed back a little bit as the economy from Cure is slowly but steadily coming back online. So nice job for him after killing 13 workers. So he will very likely try to once again double attack SCARLETT. And let's have a look, he's now just pushing here forward in the middle of the map. Not that many defenses here, so he might be successful. Snipe once again so many drones. He even might go for this one hatchery. No, he's going straight for those workers. So great flow of strength as in comes SCARLETT with her units. Nice torpedoes back, and so many Medivacs have fallen. So many units, but Cure really fast, dropping here into the main. Might snipe here this one hatchery. Yeah, the hatchery falls really quick, but in comes the reinforcements by SCARLETT. Cure tries to find a good position. 23 workers have fallen for her. The Medivacs will be targeted, but Cure is just going to pick up and fly away. But hold on, he's going to get intercepted nicely here by SCARLETT. Great harpoons by her as 2 Medivacs have fallen. Really great unit to have. SCARLETT once again soaking up the hatchery, sucking the hatchery there. And once again Cure forcing a cancel here as SCARLETT is just all over the map. Cure taking heavy losses for him. Those Medivacs filled with Marines, with Marauders, dropping really low, so there is just no escape point for him. And sadly so much is going to get fallen by here. You can even see the SCARLETT having more and more losses, but her economy just allows her to come back, even though she did suffer so many losses. And Cure somehow bouncing back with 61 workers. This expansion is however not that much, actually not at all being defended, so even a couple of Zerglings that have dealt so much economic damage here for SCARLETT. And yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing at the 20-minute mark. A much more interesting and balanced game here. Cure finally finding some pickups, finding some kills, but at the same time also suffering losses with Medivacs and units being lost. Let's have a look. Those Vipers, of course, really important here for SCARLETT. Let's have a look where exactly her next target is going to be, as Cure is this time feeling much more confident to attack here. SCARLETT on the defending move, and at the same time she's attacking here. But is she going to commit? That is going to be the answer, as she's going to have to abandon this outpost. There's so many Terran units backed up by siege tanks. And let's have a look. Yes, of course she has to abandon here. Some drones will be transferred, but lurkers are also here, but they will be scanned. SCARLETT in the end also is going to lose this base, but is also attacking here into this location. So 12 drones, 16 drones have fallen for her. At the same time she is attacking this expansion, of course, much important expansion for the Terran. And once again we have a base trade scenario in between SCARLETT and Cure. This time Cure having a better position, as he's also moving out forward here in to the next expansion point by SCARLETT. SCARLETT not really having so many defenses here, but she has to retreat. The expansion has fallen. Many units are really low for the Terran, but those drones will be sniped. So great job by Cure. In come the lurkers, and they will deal splash damage towards Cure, so but Cure already sniping 38 workers here against Scarlet. Still somehow Scarlet having the same amount of workers versus Cure, but Cure is not going to stop here. He's going to push much and much forward. However, Scarlet is then being prepared to intercept those units. Yeah, 38 workers, so all of a sudden she has dropped to 42 workers. So really nice job by Cure. However, his units are really hurt, so those lurkers with that splash damage or even banelings could be added would have dealt so much splash damage towards those hurt units. And yeah, let's have a look. Scarlet, of course, going for the next base in the middle of the map. Lurkers are in the front, Vipers are there to back them up. And yeah, SCVs have to be pulled back, so nice job here by Scarlet, forcing a retreat by Cure. Cure at the same time having quite so many units out on the map. Scarlet has to retreat. Those Vipers will be crucial for her. And let's have a look. We do have a one lurker here, so there's not that much detection here for the Terran. Nice torpedoes once again against those units. And nice pickups. Cure has to fight, he has to stay up. Such a great move here by both players. Nice kiting back and forth by Cure. He's going to engage here. The lurkers coming from the back. Roach is looking really tanky. And yeah, so much damage being dealt. But the Idols now are in the front. Even the lurkers are retreating to back the forces from the Zerg. We have a huge amount of units here, so yeah, really nice job here by both players. Indian Scarlet is going to cancel once again this expansion, but the same can be said here for Cure, and in the end they will try to, of course, regroup somewhere, but once again Scarlet is going to lose so many workers. So patiently Cure waiting for those workers and to be able to snipe them. Both players at the same amount of supply, really same amount of workers. Perhaps a small advantage for Scarlet, but in the end, let's have a look. Is she somehow going to be able to intercept those units? Lurkers do attack, but yeah, the Terran force is much more mobile. As Cure deciding here to attack, his units are pretty much hurt, but yeah, he just decided to attack a little bit and then just retreat. And more units are being added, and we have once again nice torpedoes by those Vipers. And yeah, great stuff. Harpoons, actually, I mean harpoons. Yeah, nice blinding clouds, but in the end, yeah, Cure has to GG out, and Scarlet takes this series 2-0. So nice job by her with those Vipers being used really wisely. Really nice by her. Such a great move, such a balanced second game. I still had no idea who would win it in the end, but Scarlet proving this time to be much stronger than her opponent. So yeah, congratulations to Canada winning this series versus South Korea. I hope you guys once again enjoyed this series as much as I did. This is your host Tommy, signing out.